and hope you're all well. And please let me remind you of one thing, as I have told the Form 4 student. Please try to stay home. Please, you must stay home actually, unless you have very important things to do. Don't go out to have fun, because this is very important times that we need to help our society to get back to normal. So we should all stay home. Try to avoid keeping in touch with the other people. So, right, hope all of you are well. So let us come back to our lesson for the week. And do you remember what we have done last week? It's about air pollution. And I have told you that we're going to write a survey report on the topic about air pollution. And we had a questionnaire done before that. And then now we go to the part 2 of writing the survey report. Come here. So this week I'm going to tell you how to write a survey report. How to write a survey report. And the topics. Now I know I should be very gentle to this screen. Otherwise it's just air pollution. So yeah. So this is our questionnaire. I have put it online for you to give me the result, the response, and then I hope you have done it. And for some of you who haven't done it, try to finish it also. Right? So, and I have collected some data from you, from those who have submitted the answers to me. So, shall we jump to the question? So this is our question for the week. And I'm going to put it online. But here we have a very quick look at some of the important points first. 2 very important points here. You are the secretary of the Green Club. So you are the member of the Green Club. And what you need to do, you need to write a survey report about air pollution. And we have done we have finished the questionnaire, we have interviewed. Now this is just all this is not really imaginary or real life. So we have collected data from students about air pollution. We have finished the questionnaire, and now we are going to write the reports about this. And here are some of the data that I will give you. So this is our question for the week, writing questions, and then how should we work on writing a survey report? How many parts are there? We have all these. So very quickly, I go through them with you very quickly once. Now, first of all, we have the title. Of course, whatever we write, we need a title, right? We need a name, right, for the report, the name of the report. And then we have the introduction. The introduction is you tell everyone what the whole piece is about, the introduction, right? So, introduction. And then we have the results. The result here means what you get from the interview, from the questionnaire, all those numbers, data that you have got from the interview, the results. And then from the results, we have some conclusions find out from the results. Oh, it's like this. So this is what you will find out, or you have find out from any of the survey. And so you come to some conclusions, and then you make the recommendations, or you make the suggestion of what to do after you get all the data. So here are all the parts in a survey report. Now, I'll go through them one by one together with you. First of all, the title. What is the title of this writing? Interesting. So it's a survey report. So the title, the name of the report is a survey report on air pollution. So you put the 2 important things here in one line. And Then we come to the introduction. How do you start writing a survey report? This is one of the biggest problem of our lovely students. Usually they don't know what to do, they don't know how to start writing. So I tell you, to write a survey report, you don't need to panic. It's just this. Talk about the survey report in general. So talk about the whole thing in general. So what is talking about the whole thing in general? First, dong dong dong. Now I'll show you how you can start it. In order to, you can start it this way. This is a very simple way, and a way that everyone can use this. Everyone can use this. So in order to find out, in order to means you want to tell the purpose. Why? The purpose, the aim, the target, or why you're doing something. So in order to find out if students are doing enough to reduce air pollution, this is a purpose. A survey. Now you go into the survey. Was conducted, means was held, right? Was conducted in January 2020. So you tell the time of the survey, all right? You tell the time of the survey and by the Green Club. Remember that you are the member, you're the secretary of the Green Club, and so you should tell who the Green Club conducted the survey. So this is the introduction, part of the introduction of something else. It's coming. Now you should also tell the interview size of your survey. So how many students have you interviewed? If you have just interviewed 2 students, don't tell me that it is okay. You should at least interview maybe 20, 30, or this is a good number. 100 students were interviewed. So tell us the interview size. How many students you have to interview? Right. So 100 students were interviewed, and then you also tell everyone that you will come to some conclusion. So conclusions will be drawn, will be taken from the results, conclusions, what you have to find out. And then also you tell your readers that some recommendations, some suggestions will be made after getting the results. So after getting the result, you're going to make some suggestions. It's not just for doing a survey that you're doing it, but it's for making some good suggestions, making some improvement, right? Making the world better that we have done something. So recommendations, suggestions. So this is all the whole package. And then now I'll show you how we can present the results. In presenting the results, we can use a number of ways. And actually, this is the most important part. I can tell you that this is the most important part of the survey report. I'll show you how to do it. Right. So actually, remember the results are the data and answers you collected from the survey. So the number that you have collected from the 100 students, what did you get? So the results. Now, how can you present your data? One way is by telling the percentage. Telling the percentage like this. Now look at this thing, this chart. This is a chart, right? And the question is, what do you think is the main cause of air pollution? And now, if you don't say, I'll tell you, it's 51%. 51% of the students said that motor vehicles were the most important reason why we have air pollution. So how can you present the data? So you can say it this way. So just put it this way. 51% of the students said motor vehicles was the main cause of air pollution. So 51%. So you can tell by showing them the percentage. And also, you can also show them the numbers. You can also show them the numbers by telling the numbers like this. Do you help reduce air pollution by using buses and MTR instead of taxi? Do you do this? Do you try not not to use private cars or just taxi, and then use public transport to help reduce pollution. Look at the number. The yes, 72 students. 72 students said yes, and no, 28 students. 28 students. So you can tell the number now. You can say 72 out of 100 students, right? 72 out of 100 students said they used buses and MTR instead of taxi. So just tell the number. And also, you may present it in another line by telling the proportion. Proportion, what is proportion? Proportion means parts, actually. I avoid using air conditioner. Yes, 21% of the students said yes. And no, 79% of the students said no. So which one is bigger? 79%, right? So it's a big part, it's a big proportion. So we can say a large proportion of the students said they did not avoid using air conditioner. So you can say just a large proportion. This is the way to talk about the data. Or you may use another word. The majority means most of them, most of the students. The majority of the students said they did not avoid using air conditioner. You can say majority, or you can say a large proportion, 79%. Are you okay with this? And very fun. Also, we can tell by the fractional number. What is it? Fractional number. Look at this fractional number. Half of them, or 1/2, or 1/3, etc. So this is another way to tell the result. Look at this example. Health problem. What's the question? The question is, what are the worst effects of air pollution? What are the worst effects? What are so bad for air pollution? All right. And so 1/3 of the students said health problem. It is no good. It is no good to our health. So this is what they said. So you can write it this way: 1/3 by Arabic number. Right? 3 of the students said health problem was the worst effect. One way. Or in English, 1/3 of the students said health problem was the worst effect. So this is it, how you can write it. And so we can use a number of ways to talk about the data. And how about in a whole sentence, how can we tell in a single complete sentence? You can start by using this way. According to the survey report, 51% of the students said motor vehicles was the main cause of air pollution, or change it a bit. According to the information collected, 51% of the students said motor vehicles was the main cause of air pollution, right? Or we have some other ways to show it very quickly. The result of the survey shows that, oh, this is short, right, easy. The survey reveals is another word that you can use when you talk about showing others something. Reveals, it seems it's you have dug out some very important findings, right, from the ground. So reveals, right, reveals something. So the survey reveals that. Now, so after presenting the data, the numbers, the answers, we come to conclusion. What are conclusions? Look at this. You can sum it up like this. Conclusion is here. The result of the survey reveals that students think that motor vehicles are more responsible for air pollution. So this is what student thinks. So you don't tell the number, but you can tell the thinking of the student by the number. Air pollution than power station. And in addition, although many students use buses and the MTR instead of taxi, remember that the students are quite good. They try to use public transport to help reduce air pollution. But in another way, they cannot do it very well. What's the other way? Is the air conditioners. So you can write it like this. Fewer students avoid using air conditioners, but many of the students, they cannot avoid using air conditioners to help the world to be much better. So this is the finding. And so from the conclusions, we come to recommendations. You can write the recommendations like this. From the results of the survey, it is clear that it's so clear. All right, that you don't need to tell. So from the result, what we should do, avoiding the use of air conditioners should be promoted more strongly. So we should tell students to be serious about the problem of air conditioning, and so it is very clear, right? We should do something more on this. So therefore, the Green Club, now go back to the Green Club, all right, should display poster, well, one thing that you can do that promotes this idea in the school. So you talk about really, really concrete suggestions, something that you will do, right? You can do to help easing the problem. So this is how you can write recommendations. So are you ready? All this? So you know the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things that you need to put into your survey report, right? And now some other important points in writing a survey report that I need to remind you all. What tense to use? Student will ask this question. So which tense should I use in writing a survey report? I tell you, both past tense and present tense. Don't worry about what to use, both, and when. So when you're talking about the interview, you should use past tense, right? When you talk about the interview that you had done with students in the past week, last week, of course, it's in the past. So use past tense like this. For example, the students said that they did not avoid using air conditioners. It's a past tense, right? And when we use present tense, I can tell you that for most of the other time, use present tense. So when you talk about the other things, because it's the situation that is ongoing, right? So we should use present tense to tell the present situation. So please try to use present tense in the other parts. But of course, you need to make your decision by yourself. What's in the past and then what's happening now. So the result, example is the result shows that students have, right? This is what is true now. So use present tense. So all right with the tense. And one thing I would want to ask you, what style is a survey report? I want to remind you. Is it a formal or informal writing? Oh, informal. A formal writing. It is not a letter to a friend. It is not saying hi to your uncle or your daddy. So this is formal writing. You must be very polite, and then the style should be like very, you don't use short forms or like you shouldn't be too casual. This is what I should say. Formal. And something that I need to remind you of. Look at this. This is what I always do. We're talking about this. What am I doing? I'm cutting the whole thing into different parts. I'm cutting the whole thing into different parts. Remember that when you write any kind of essay, try to cut them in different parts. Good paragraphing is very, very important. Good paragraphing. Don't put them all in one piece. People will not like to read your words if it's all in one very, very long piece. Remember? And so, now come to the task. Your job now, write the survey report. I will send you the worksheet, and then please write the essay. And it It is not difficult actually. And so I hope you can finish it easily. And so thank you, and we all hope that our world will be like this. No air pollution, no virus, clean, tidy. Everyone go out to have fun. So thank you for that, and then we will have Miss Chair for our next session. So yes.
Hi, good afternoon, Form 5 students. Okay, so now let's move on to the reading part. Okay, the reading comprehension part, paper 1. And you should already have finished your self-assessment exercise, which is on your textbook, theme book. Okay, 136 to 137. Okay, so take out your theme book. Okay, we will check the answers and I will go through the questions one by one. Okay. Alright, so let's go to question number 1, okay? The word might be very small here, but I know you should have your textbook, your theme book, so it should be very clear for you, okay? And so let's look at the first one. There is one phrase missing from paragraph 1 and 2 and 5 and 8. So choose the phrases from those given below and which best fits the gap in each paragraph. So there are 4 boxes here. So what numbers should you write down? Henry, can you zoom in more to show the screen? Okay, let's look at here. So 4 boxes, but what should you write down? It should be number 1, number 2, number 5, and number 8. Okay, so do not write down A, B, C, D, or 1, 2, 3, 4. So the answer should be in 1, 2, 5, and 8. Okay, so let's look at the passage. If you read the passage, there are some lines here. Okay, so paragraph 1 there is 1 line. Okay, so let's look at paragraph 1 together. Okay, as a teenager, Karen Chen Ke-yu often found herself outraged at stories of animal abuse. Okay, let's look at the word abuse. You should know this word because I've learned this word before. Okay, abuse. If you remember, okay, we have learned this word quite a number. Okay, so it means you're died. So if you don't know the meaning of slaughter or facing extinction, but according to abuse here, you should guess the meaning. You should be able to guess the meaning of slaughter and extinction. It talks about bad things related to animals. Okay, so slaughter means 屠殺. Okay, and extinction 絕種. So these are all bad things about animals, right? And here, if this teenager, how do this teenager feel about all these things? Outraged. So can you guess the meaning of outraged? If you see animals being killed, being slaughtered, how do you feel? So the word here means extremely angry, okay? So you have to learn how to guess the meaning of the word, okay? And then let's go back to the answer here. Let's look at here the line. He wanted to. After the preposition to should be the preposition to should be followed with very obviously it should be a verb, right? It should be a verb, 动词. So let's look at the 4 answers here. So only 2 answers start with a verb, right? So it should be this one and this one. So if we go back to paragraph 1, she wanted to has become concrete for the first time. Does this make sense? Okay, and then let's try this one. She wanted to do something about it. Okay, so very obviously, the answer should be paragraph 1 for this. Okay, and then let's look at the next one. Paragraph 2. Okay, paragraph 2. Maybe we should still focus on the line first. Okay, let's read this line. Karen's dream of, okay, highlight apostrophe S. Karen's dream, 她的 dream 夢想 okay, Karen's dream of helping animals. So these 5 words combined all together is a noun phrase. Okay, it's a noun phrase, and it functions as the subject of a sentence. 主語嚟嘅. So after the subject, we still need a verb, right? So the line should start with the verb. Okay, it should start with a verb, and then let's go back to the answers here. Like I said, only 2 verbs. This one has been chosen, right? So the answer is very easy. Should be her dream has come concrete for the first time. Concrete, 實際. Okay, 實在嘅. Or 實在嘅. Okay, so become concrete. Okay, let's go to the next one. This should be paragraph 5. Okay, paragraph 5. Local fishermen said knowledge was useful and found the workshop rewarding. Okay, with the comma. With the comma. So if we look at these 2 phrases, to 10 projects this year. So do we plus a comma here? No, I don't think so, right? This one should should be followed with a part of the sentence, right? And according to someone, 根據某啲人嚟講. So this one, usually we use a comma before, or we put the sentence at the very beginning of the sentence with a comma after it, right? So number 5 should be, paragraph 5 should be this one, right? And then let's go to paragraph 8. The OPCF plans to expand. Okay, I've taught this word before. Okay, expand, 擴大. It's sponsorship, 贊助, sponsorship. And Mrs. Gendron expressed enthusiasm. This word, 熱心熱情. Okay, a lot of times since Form 3, we have been talking about this word for a lot of time. Okay, for the student conservation trips. Okay, this word is very important. Still, I taught this word in your Form 3 English lesson. Okay, conservation, 保育保育區. Especially talking about the environment, 特別係講緊啲環境問題. So number 8, paragraph 8 should be expand the sponsorship, 擴大贊助作 to 10 project. Okay, 直至10個項目to 10 project. Okay, now let's move on to number 5. Okay, number 5. Filling the word. Okay, filling the word, and write 1 word in each space. Okay, only one word in each space. But this one is very tricky. This one. Okay, so let's look at the passage. Let's go to paragraph 3. Right, paragraph 3. Okay. Working on the working on the boat on the Mekong River in Cambodia was. Okay, so the key words here, you should highlight these words with me, okay? Firstly, the weather. Highlight the weather. And then the sun. So if you go to paragraph 3, you will find the sun here. So when we talk about the sun, it should be related to the weather, okay? So the answer should be from this sentence. Okay, let's read the sentence. The sun was cruel, and we have no shade. It was like a permanent sauna. Okay, cruel. It means 殘忍的 ，OK 殘忍的 ，and then shade， 我哋嗰啲遮陰樹蔭 shade，and then like a permanent sauna. So can you guess the meaning of sauna? It's very hot. There is no shade, and you have to work under the sun, so you feel like sauna. Sauna, very close to our Chinese word. Okay, so if we complete the answer here, because the weather was hot and what? Sorry, let's go back to number 5 first. Working on the boat on Mekong River in Cambodia was what? The sun was cruel, so work was difficult. 個太陽好殘烈啦，所以我哋嘅工作係好辛苦的。Okay, or you can use hard. Okay, and then when we go to have a sauna, so the weather should be very hot and also wet. 好濕潮濕. Or you can use humid. It means 潮濕的. Okay, so these two should be very easy. Okay, and then let's go to next one. In line 15, what does we refer to? Reference questions is the easiest one in your reading paper. Okay, so if we look at line 15. Okay, you will find the word we here, right? We here. The sun was cruel and we had no shade. So we must be talking about people, right? We here, we have no shade. So it talks about people. Then it's very easy. Let's look at the name here, Kevin. Kevin is a boy, right? It's a person and then it's a boy, okay? So Kevin must be in the reason, in the answer, okay? But we, it means more than one, right? More than one, at least two, right? So one more people, she. So who is she? Let's look at the paragraph here, okay? Working with fellow students. Okay, what is fellow? Fellow means 同伴. So fellow student, 同學. So who is the fellow student? Kevin. 係嘛？同 Kevin 我嘅同學 Kevin. Okay? She recently spent. So here, she, what does she refer to? So you have to go back to paragraph 1. Who is the main character? Who is the main role in this passage? It should be Karen Chen. Okay? So the answer should be Kevin Kwok and Karen Chen. She refers to Karen. Okay? Alright, let's look at this one. This one is it's not very easy actually. So let's look at number 8. Karen Chen Yu feels the trip to Cambodia was enjoyable. You should know the meaning of enjoyable. It means happy, okay? Joyful. You feel good, okay? You feel good. And then practical. You can really use it. Useful, okay? Practical. You can do it. Okay, and then hard but rewarding. Hard, difficult. Rewarding, it means you will get something back. 有回報嘅，好艱難但係有回報嘅。Okay? And then demanding. I've taught this word in 5A before. Okay, demanding. Okay, 高要求嘅。So let's look at the sentence here. Okay, let's look at the sentence here. but we spotted 61 dolphins, and it's so worthwhile. Okay, worthwhile, this word is very long, but you should know the word here, worth. Worth, you should know the word worth. 值得幾多錢 okay? So what is worthwhile? Ah, 佢都係值得嘅意思啊。But what is the difference? For example, afterwards, we always use doing, worth doing, 值得做某啲事 but worthwhile to do something. Okay, so this is the difference of these two words. Okay, worth doing and worthwhile to do something. 全部都係值得嘅意思。Okay, so here very easy, very obvious. The answer should be C. Okay, the answer should be C. Okay, let's go to number 9. Number 9. Okay, number 9. What kind of person do you think Karen Chenker Yu is? The main character. Okay, the main character. Number 1, ambitious. A, ambitious. 有雄心的. Okay, write down ambition. Ambition is the noun. Ambitious is the adjective. 雄心啊，我嘅雄心壯志啊。And then bad-tempered. What is bad? Bad definitely something very not good, right? Bad-tempered. So do you think the main character Chen Ke-yu, who helps with the dolphins, is bad? Definitely no, right? So although we don't know the meaning of bad-tempered, but we can guess that the answer should not be B. Okay, but bad-tempered means 壞脾氣啊 ，temper 係脾氣。Caring, okay, and then clever. So the answer, she helps with the dolphins. Okay, she helps with the dolphins. So definitely the answer should be caring. Okay, and the next one, number 10, is the most difficult one. Okay, it's the most difficult one. So let's look at number 10. In paragraph 6 and 7. In paragraph 6 and 7. So let's highlight the key words here. Firstly, 6 and 7, right? And then we learned that Susan Zhang, okay, the person thinks an important part of the trip was to let students. So what is the most important part of the trip? Okay, so let's highlight these two words first, and then let's look at the answer A, B, C, D. It all starts with a verb. Okay, 以動詞開頭. So every time when the answer starts with the verb, you have to think carefully about the verb. Let's look at the verb here. Okay, realize, help, understand. Okay, so the important part of the trip is to realize, to help, to understand. So which one is the correct one? So let's go back to your text. Let's go to text paragraph 6 first, okay? Susan Zhang, Foundation Director of da. So this is the title, not important, okay? Said that the significance of the trip emerged when marine conservationists of the future realized saving da. So this is only one sentence, okay? So let's look at these words first, okay? Significance. we learned the adjective before in Form 3, Unit 1. It means importance. Remember, it is a noun, importance. Okay, so we can change this word into an adjective, significant. So it means important. Okay? Do not always use important. You have another word to replace it. Okay? Use different types of word. Okay? Significant of the trip emerged, 出現, okay, emerged when the marine conservative marine again, we talked before, it means sea, ocean, 海洋. Okay, conservation, 保育, we taught just before. When the word ends with ist, 我之前教過, when the word ends with ist, it always talks about person, specialized in some areas. Okay, 專家啦。舉例 scientist, artist. Okay, so when we see a word end with ist, it usually talks about people. Okay, so when these people realized, okay, so now let's highlight the verb here. Realized. Okay, realized saving marine life was not an isolated activity. Isolated. 獨立嘅. Okay, separated activity. Well, let's go to paragraph 7. Now with their first-hand experience, they understand, highlight understand. Understand. Understand what? It's not practical to ask the fishermen to stop great fishing. 叫啲漁夫唔去捕魚 is not practical. 唔係實際嘅方法 okay? They need to come up with, think of, okay? Think of, write down. Come up with, it means think of, an alternative for them to make a living first. 我哋要保護海洋呢，就叫啲漁夫唔好去捕魚。But this is wrong, right? This is not practical. So to think another option, another work, 另外一種方法 okay, another measure to for them to make a living first. 我哋令到啲漁夫可以求生先啦 make a living, okay? 可以養到自己先啦 Okay, so if we look at these two underlined sentence, so we should know that, let's look at the first one, realize that great fishing is the biggest obstacle in marine conservative. 捕魚係最大嘅障礙，呢個字係學過㗎啊，障礙 obstacles. So I don't think this one is correct. Okay, help local fishermen make a living. 幫助本地嘅漁夫係求生。So is this the main purpose of our trip? 我哋係咪係關注漁夫喺度 No, we are talking about the ocean, right? So this one is wrong. And then let's look at number C. Understand that saving marine life is not easy. Of course it's not easy. You don't need a trip to understand it, right? So this one is not that correct. It's too general. Okay, it's too general. So let's look at D. Understand that they must work with others to achieve the goal of marine conservation. So if you look at this word, you should already know the answer because the main purpose of the trip is marine conservation. Okay, so the answer should be D. Alright, the last one. Which of the following alternative titles would be the most suitable for the article? So another title. So let's look at number 8. A trip on the Mekong River. Is it just a trip? No, right? Students interview. Is it only the student interview? No. What do you know about marine mammal conservation? What do you know? Is it a question? I don't think so. And also, mammal, this word is very important. We are mammal. Humans are mammals. Okay? Okay, we'll always see this word. Okay? Student help with marine mammal conservation. Okay, so very clear. Student, marine conservation. Okay, so the answer should be D. Although you may not know the meaning of mammal, but you should all know the answer. Okay, so this self-assessment, paper 1 is very easy. Okay, it's only like a Form 3 level. I hope you have you have done this one, and I hope you will check the answer here. But anyway, Form 5 you have to work really hard because ESC is coming. Okay, it's already April now. You don't have much time, so spend more time on your paper practice. Okay, do not give up. Okay, so this is for today. Okay, thank you. Bye bye.